to put on my uniform. That's one of the ways that I identify. I am the Anglican priest here in Castlegar, Cusp and New Denver as well. But I'm going to take that off. That's one of my identifying features. I have another one. I'm married to a same-gendered person whose name is Joan, and she's right over here. And that's part of why we're here. It's why we're here, to celebrate the diversity that there is in humanity. I want to say a few things. And I asked Deb the other day, she sent me a message, said, are you sure, are you still on to make a speech? Now, you must remember, as a preacher, I'm not sure there's a difference between preaching and speeching. So you'll have to bear with me and take whatever you get. Ooh. I went with my niece at the beginning of June to the Blue Jays Pride game and got this hat. She also is in a same-gender relationship in Toronto. So we sat there very proudly at the game. And as I've pondered what to say today, here's what I've come up with. I'm not going to read it because I don't like reading things that I want to say. I want to say that I've learned in my 65 plus years of living that life is a journey of discovery. And no matter what stage we are on that journey, we're discovering and looking for ways to be ourselves. Have you ever heard it said, oh, that person has a great story, when they say something about themselves? That person's story is great. I want to suggest to you, and I've come to believe, that we all are a story. We all are a story. I want to share with you just some of the things that were part of Elizabeth's story. As a child growing up, I struggled to find my place. I struggled to find my place in my family. I still struggle to find my place in my family. I struggled to find my place in the school. Every summer I spent at summer camp away from home because it was safe to be there and not at home in the community that we lived in. But I wondered why it was that this was all happening. My parents would say to me when I was in high school, how come you don't have any friends? You never bring any friends home. Now you have to understand also I'm a PK. I'm a preacher's kid. So, you know, in a small town, sometimes that's a strike against you. Because I didn't grow up in Dunnville, Ontario. And so I felt like I never belonged. And all I really wanted to do was have a sense of being able to be myself and to belong. So I played sport. And there I belonged. And I actually was pretty good at some sports. So that was, for that time, a place of belonging. At the same time, had no particular interest in relationships, really, with anybody. And that was a problem. However, I did spend my summers, as I said, at summer camp, and it was an all-female summer camp, which suited me just fine. And after spending many of my summers there, I realized that this was me. I have a particular affection for women. That makes me a lesbian. And I began to celebrate that within myself, but found no place where I could share that. Not in my home. Secretly, at university, there were relationships happening. And then I followed my vocational call into an institution that to this day does not allow me, as a clergy person in the Anglican Church of Canada, to marry same-gender people. We're still fighting that battle in our tradition. Joan and I are married, and we had to get married because the bishop told me at one time if we were going to be in relationship and I wanted to go to another church community, that we had to get married. We did, and we had been talking about getting married, but that's part of our story. So to this day, we still struggle to be who we are. People say, well, why do you stay in that tradition? I stay in it because I think that change happens from within, not from without. At the end of it all, I look forward to a day when I can be me and you can be you, and we don't have to put on these, we don't have to raise a whole series of different flags in order for us to be who we are.
All right.
Can we not just accept the fact that as human beings on the planet, all these other things that are used to identify ourselves, labels, are useless. They are divisive. What I know is that I and each one of you here is a child of the universe that I'm invited into a relationship with. And that is what we should be proud of. We should be celebrating our pride in being human beings living on the planet, living in Castlegar, BC, together. So let's work together if we can to get rid of the labels, to celebrate who we each are, to recognize that I am because you are. We need each other. Diversity is a gift, not anything else. So let's work hard at coming to the place, in my business, that phrase, thoughts and prayers are with you. And we've come to realize that thoughts and prayers aren't enough. I want to suggest to you that raising the pride flag isn't enough. It's a step forward, and thank God we're there. But let's keep on working. Let's keep celebrating each other. And do so with grace, respect, love, and courage. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to make my first public speech about who I am.
Yay, all right. Big hug, big hug.